Today I am dyeing a Dharma Trading Company acid dye rainbow using the Dharma Trading Company supplied 100% merino roving. So I have a tower of dyes that I'm going to read to you. We have Brilliant Yellow, that's 401, Kelly Green, 410, if I can hold these all at once, Fire Engine Red, 402, this is really challenging, Berry Crush, which is 470, yep, and lastly, Bright Aqua, which is 422. And I realized that those did not focus, but I read it to you, and I will have a link to each of them down below. So hopefully the focus won't be vital to your finding them. So Dharma Trading Company, as I have mentioned before, sent me a bunch of dyes for my book, Dye, which I had to put on hold because I am gestating, and turns out gestating is more difficult and physically demanding than I anticipated. You know, obviously, but so I put that on hold, but I still really wanted to share with you some of the techniques that are going to be in dye and feature the dyes that the different companies sent to me, including Dharma Trading. So what I did here, and this is part of a 4-part series. Hi, dye your fingernails, nice. So this is part of a 4-part series where I make a rainbow using the colors that they sent me to compare. So red, yellow, green, turquoise, and purple. Yeah, 5. And compare those side by side in a rainbow. And to do that, I'm doing a hand painted technique. So you'll see that right there, and then these will be the photos that end up in the book, but you get to have a super exclusive sneak peek of the content, so that way you can also really grok how the different dye companies vary and see a side-by-side comparison. So the plan is to dye them all, and I have a shorter piece of merino roving, and I'm going to spin that end to end, and then I want to knit that so that way those stripes all are kind of in a neat order so you can compare them easily, you know what I mean? I might weave it. I would like to weave it, but I need to figure out how to DIY a loom. So I'll figure that out. So I will check back with you after this project is done and tell you how it went. dyeing the Dharma Trading Company rainbow on my merino, and just over the top of the camera I can see it hanging out on my new laundry line that my beautiful husband put up for me. So that's exciting. It's so nice to see in a new house your fiber hanging on the line again. It's like, oh, I have dye pot fingernails and there's dye on my line. It's a good time. Anyway though, back on topic. So I dyed the rainbow, and I had to kind of loop in the video, I'm sure you noticed, kind of had to loop that red up because my table wasn't long enough. And so I wrapped it in a tube of plastic wrap on its own and then rolled it. And that worked pretty well, but it did bleed onto the yellow, which wasn't what I was going for. But you guys know me, I really like the more organic feel, so I almost like it better since it's not perfect. But I was a little bummed because I was going for a really distinct variation. So if you are going to try that out, I suggest either using a longer table or not what I did. I'm not sure how to do that better, but don't do what I did if you don't want that. But I am really happy about it. I don't think it's going to look dumb when it's done, and you can still, oh hiccup, clearly see the brilliant yellow. So it's no big deal. In fact, I mean, it shows off another color. It's orange, so that was cool. Another thing I noticed is the fire engine red takes a lot of dye to fully saturate. So if you're dyeing this and you put in your normal amount and you're like, this is kind of like a pinky color, and I'm not really impressed, add some more dye and it still looks kind of pale and like a vintage tone, but like a washed out vintage red. You saw in the video. But don't panic, because for me, when I took it out of the microwave after it had been set, it turned that really intense red that you saw at the end. So I think that went well. So I'm excited. I can't decide if I want to do the Gable dyes or the Ashford dyes or the Cushing's dyes next. But I'll pick one. So I'll have, like I said at the beginning of the video, all the dyes that I used with their name and number and link down below. And once I'm finished with all the dye series, if that has already happened, there are already links to all of those down below. If that's not happened, keep checking back because I will put it there. So have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you did, tell me how you found it helpful in the comments below, and like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other demo videos. Bye!